What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Friday, just 2 days before the start of the NFL season if you're a Detroit Lions fan, and I think we've got a pretty good show for us today. As you could tell from the thumbnail for today's video, we're going to break down 8 key matchups, 8 key things to pay attention to for the Lions versus the Rams. We're going to break them on down, get them at you, and see what you guys have to think about it. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we got Kurt, the Hitman Steele, coming after you. The living legend himself, the 17 million-time world's heavyweight champion. He's coming on over to share his thoughts and insights before his show at 8 a.m. today. All right, we're going to get this show going and moving because we do have a couple segments, a part of 5 headlines now. They're probably going to take a little bit more time than normal, so let's get into that real quick before we do. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 70, 75 subs away from hitting 7,800 subs. So if you help out with that, that'd be great. Trying to get that done before Sunday night's kickoff. Also, if you're enjoying the video, the content, everything within the channel, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, that's like button, whatever you want to call it. Try to get every episode between 200, 300 or more thumbs up likes. And then last but never least, if you're considering buying property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, you can give me a call, shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation, try to save you some money, and make the process of buying property a whole lot easier. Again, you see my number on the screen. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to the first segment of the day, and that is 5 headlines now. All right, let's get this moving. 5 headlines now. How Deshaun Townsend's, quote, fine book has helped Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold prep for NFL. Terrion Arnold, Detroit Free Press. Not sure why we got Arnold's name in there twice, but it is what it is. So, yes, as he's preparing what appears to be a start on Sunday night, we do a deep dive into the newest Lions positional coach. That's Deshaun Townsend, his impact on the secondary, the defensive line, etc. I think it's going to be a real good start for him. Yes, Arnold's going to have some rough moments like all rookie cornerbacks will. It'll be interesting to see how Aaron Glenn utilizes him and also helps protect him. I'm going to be watching that first drive or two when the Rams have the ball to see what they specifically do, if they put, say, a safety behind him just to help out in coverage, or if they're just going to leave him on an island. One of those two. If he's left on an island, that means AG and the defense has a whole lot of faith in that rookie young quarterback on opening night for his career in the NFL. All right, Detroit Lions offense, quote, loaded with playmakers. Detroit Free Press story by Dave Burkett. I think there couldn't be more true words spoken going into Sunday's game, and I'm going to guess everybody out in the Duke Crew land is going to agree because this Lions offense is crazy good. Who knows who's going to be wide receiver number 4 or 5? I'm guessing we'll find that out just before kickoff. But what we can say is we've got potential to have all pros everywhere across this offense. The quarterback potentially could have an all-pro season. You've got multiple guys on the offensive line who could potentially be all-pros, let alone a tight end, and Sam Laporta could be, just as big or explosive a playmaker as this league has at that position. Don't forget, by the players, he was ranked in last week's rankings by the players. He was ranked the number 1 tight end in the league when it came to that very question. Now you look at the offensive side. You got Jameson Williams appearing like he may have just a phenomenal season, his real breakthrough season. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Does anybody think there's going to be something of a downturn towards this guy? Probably not. It means he's probably going to keep trucking along, doing what he does, and having just an outstanding season. So could somebody else emerge? Absolutely. Gibbs, Montgomery, we'll have to wait and see, but this offense is stacked. See, Detroit Lions game-by-game predictions. Can they really go all the way? Question mark. Story by Kyle Mikey. So real quick, and this is why I said I was going to spend a little time on it. Mikey offers a game-by-game prediction on the guys. So week 1, he's got the Lions beating the Rams. Probably not a big surprise there. I'm not going to go through everything just real quick here. He's got us beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Arizona Cardinals, also win. So right there, we're 3-0. Seahawks, he's got us winning on that Monday night game, so 4-0. The bye week, you know what? We're still undefeated against the bye week. So we're going to go into Dallas, and man, the guy is Debbie Downer. He's got us losing to the Cowboys. I disagree with that, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to agree with everybody. Minnesota Vikings, round 1, we got to win, according to him. Tennessee Titans, we got to win there. He's saying Green Bay Packers at Green Bay, a loss. So he's got us with 2 losses right there. Houston Texans, he's got a loss, so there's 3 losses. Boy, this guy is, man, somebody need to get him a Mountain Dew. Jacksonville Jaguars a win. Indianapolis Colts a win. Chicago Bears, Thanksgiving Day, a win. Let's see, Green Bay Packers on Thursday Prime, a win. I like it. He's trending the right direction here now. Buffalo Bills, a win. Let's see, Chicago Bears at Chicago, a win. San Francisco, a loss. And then ending the year with Minnesota Vikings and a win. So there you go. There is his breakdown of the season. Let's move on to the next one now. Detroit versus Rams, how to watch, start times, and predictions. And I went behind enemy lines for you guys to get this one. This is from the Los Angeles Times. So I'm not going to worry about the aspects where, hey, if you want to watch it, if you're in LA, where to go. We're just paying attention to how Gary and Sam both picked this. So Gary Klein, longtime reporter for the Times, hey, he's got the Lions winning a nail-biter 28-27. Now, Sam Farmer, not as tenured as Klein, but he's definitely been with the Times for a real long time. He's got the Lions winning 28-24. So there's your information straight out of L.A. All right, and then the last of the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions defense, new look secondary, improved line should pay off. This is from the Detroit Free Press, story by Dave Burkett. And you know what? I agree with Dave on this. I think the front 7 is going to impact the back half of the defense, the third layer of the defense. I also think there's going to be a symbiotic relationship that the improved coverage, especially in man-to-man, is going to give that front 7 a little bit more time and flexibility to get after Stafford, among other quarterbacks this year. So I'm guessing, I'm like everybody out there, we're all waiting to see the product on the field. We've heard about this for so long. It's time we want to see it. What has AG got planned? You know, what kind of impact will Brian Branch as the SSB or, you know, the move around safety, the star safety? What's Kirby Joseph going to do? Is he going to play only single high? Is he going to be utilized in other ways? A lot of questions about this defense as a whole. You know, Levi Onwuzurike, is his resurrection renaissance really real? Is he going to be able to do it on the field? Marcus Davenport, is this guy just going to get a paycheck, or can he jumpstart his career? Aiden Hutchinson, there's been some talk from people that he could end up being in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He's coming on in camp in year 3. That's strong. Terrion Arnold, some have speculated he could be Defensive Player of the Year for the rookies. We'll have to see what he does on the field. But, all right, enough of the jibber jabber. We're done with 5 headlines now. Now let's get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. Let's not dilly-dally with it. Dilly-dilly with it. Let's get into it. So I came up with 8 topics that I think are going to gravely impact the game. You and the Dew Crew, you guys let me know what your thoughts on it. So right off the bat, we're going to go with Rams right tackle Rob Havenstein versus Aiden Hutchinson. Havenstein isn't 100%, it sounds like. Maybe he will be by game time, but he's definitely in training camp prior to this week, been dealing with a few things. Could that translate to the product on the field, his play on the field? Absolutely. But last year in the playoffs, let's see, these two squared off 16 times in different snaps. And you know what? Here's how it broke out for that game. During those, let's see, Hutchinson had 4 pressures, 1 sack versus Haverson during that matchup. And again, a lot's changed since that time. That was, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that. But hey, how are the Rams and their adjusted offensive line going to handle the Aaron Glenn's aggressive defense? We all know their starting left tackle is out for that game. He didn't play poorly by any stretch of the imagination in the playoff game against the Detroit Lions. We all know that former Lion Jonah Jackson is now there. He's allegedly 100% now, and he's going to be playing a new position. Could that impact the game? Wait and see what we have listed for you. All right, number 2. How do the Rams handle replacing the irreplaceable Aaron Donald? So anybody who watched the playoff game a year ago understood that virtually every snap, the Lions put 2 offensive linemen, sometimes 3 offensive linemen on Aaron Donald. They were not going to allow that awesome playmaker an opportunity to make a play that could change the game. And for the most part, I'd say it was right as rain. It went, flawlessly. But now that the Lions do not have to commit 2 to 3 guys to block one defender, what do we do from there? Last year, the Rams, I didn't think they got great pressure. They did get some pressure on Goff, but it wasn't great and consistent. So when everybody else had one-on-one blocking assignments because 2 or 3 guys are blocking a future Hall of Famer, what do they do now when the Lions aren't required to do that and can block around a little bit more, sparingly across other guys, not allow everybody one-on-one every play? All right, number 3 on the big list, Aleem McNeil versus Jonah Jackson. Because let's be honest, if Jackson's playing center, these two are going to square off and go against each other quite a bit. Ken Jackson and Aleem, who have obviously played against each other in practice for a long time, who's going to have the advantage here, especially if Jonah Jackson is at a new position? And again, maybe he isn't 100%. DJ Reader, if he gets the go Sunday, he's going to get some opportunities there. Same with Levi Onwuzurike, among other people. I won't be surprised on some downs if Aiden Hutchinson plays inside as well. All right, number 4 on the big list is Detroit's secondary versus Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Thank you. All right, because let's be honest, the Rams are without their starting tight end. Their running backs are going to have some opportunities to run. Now, how much will their offensive line be able to help them out, open up some holes? We'll have to wait and see on that. But one of the biggest tests facing Detroit are going to be stopping the quarterback and obviously his 2 primary receivers, Stafford and Kupp Nacua. This Detroit secondary allegedly has gone through a renaissance, got a lot of new guys in, but a lot of guys who have not played yet together. They haven't gelled. They haven't had time to work on some of the finer nuances of the game. What happens here is probably going to have a major impact in the game. All right, number 5, the Lions offensive line versus the Rams front 7. Kind of already talked about this one, but just real quick, if the Rams really can't get any kind of consistent pressure or help clog up running lanes, because let's also not forget their primary linebacker about a week or 2 ago was traded away to the Tennessee Titans. So I think the Lions have a massive advantage here on the offensive line. Let's see if that holds true. All right, number 6, the Rams versus Detroit fan base. And to me, this is probably one of the bigger untalked about. This is something you can't really scheme for. Yes, in LA, you can play the speakers or whatever, but it's not even close to the same. Anybody who's been on a field watching a team prepare for a big game, even when they blast the speakers, whatever, it's nowhere near the same. You cannot replicate the decimals nor the involvement from an energy standpoint that the fans bring to the players on the field. It's a double-edged sword to a certain degree, though, because why the fan base will be making it tough on Stafford, and the receivers, everybody else, to communicate. It also means the Detroit Lions defense will have to have nonverbal communication skills to make any kind of changes. So if they see Stafford making a call, whoever the green dot is Sunday is saying, hey, we need to change something, they're going to have to use nonverbal communication to communicate those changes, almost like you would in baseball. All right, number 7, the Detroit Lions wideouts versus the LA secondary. So if you didn't catch the breaking news yesterday, Williams, one of their cornerbacks, is going to miss this game and potentially the next 4 weeks. I didn't really check what the injury was. I was only worried about could he play or could he not play, and he's not going to play. So that means without any kind of real practice, without any repetitions, the Rams secondary are going to have to put somebody else in there and make some subtle adjustments to accommodate that new person. Again, this is a defense going through some changes without Aaron Donald, who retired, the star linebacker Jones, who was traded off, and now Williams in the secondary is no longer there, at least not for this game. And then the last, hey, Gibbs, Montgomery, what can the Rams front seven do to stop them? Because let's be real fair. We all know as MCDC fans, this Detroit Lions team is built around pounding that ball and stopping the run on defense. If the Rams cannot consistently stop one of these running backs, either one of them, or Vaki if he's out there too, then you know what? It's going to be a real long day for that Rams defense, and it's going to set up play-action pass for Jared Goff, who might be the best play-action quarterback in the entire league. So a lot of things I think are favoring the Detroit Lions right now. It doesn't matter what it says on paper, though. It only matters what you do out on the field. So without further ado, let's get over to the Duke Crew. We got about 15 minutes until Kurt Steele joins us. So let's see what you guys have to say about these topics and maybe just a little bit more. All right, Michael, greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation points, Super Bowl or bust, one pride, woo, woo, and good morning to you too, Michael. JDC, what do you got? Smiling face, Erie, all right, I'll go with all that and puffing, all right. JDC, morning, all back at you, my friend. Jason, fun game to watch last night? It was, man. Let's go Eagles, 100%. Yes, let's see if the Eagles, even though if you guys watched Lions Nation Unite, we had the Herman Moore and Easy, Spencer, let's see, Kurt Steele. We had a bunch of buddy have a fantasy football league. First time I've ever done this thing. And Jordan Love is at least one of my two quarterbacks. So I got to figure out, do I start him or do I sit him tonight or for the week one? All right, let's see. Jason, can Love throw 3 INTs? I think he can because I'm going to guess the Eagles are really going to try to put a lot of pressure on him. And, hey, let's see what shakes. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Lesson from last night. Question mark. I see Super Bowl. Woo! Maybe there was, maybe there isn't. I would say this. The Ravens' offensive line definitely looks like it's going to need some time to come together and develop some of these guys. They may regret letting Kevin Zettler go. All right, Robert, greetings and salutations, Coach and Crew, back at you. Jason Amara would have had his feet in bounds. That's also true. Also true. Robert, who else wanted the Ravens to win? I'm sure there were probably some people that did. I just didn't care. I just wanted to watch football. So that's just me, though. Just like tonight. Hey, tonight's a little different, though. I will be rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles because anything that beats the Bears or the Packers or Vikings. Yeah, I'm all for it. See, Jason, I was pulling for them. There you go. Bo, I did, Robert. See, Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation points. Oh, yeah, biggest key is to stop Stafford on his butt. Keep Stafford on his butt. I'm down with that. Yeah, keep Stafford sitting on his pants and, not upright to throw. I like the way you're thinking. See, Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. Looks like the Rams defense is going to be shorthanded at all 3 levels. Let's take advantage and pull out that win, exclamation point. One pride and good morning to you too. I agree. They're going to have to make some adjustments for sure. See, Robert, I sent you a text at 2 a.m. Did you get it? I did. I just, when I woke up, I had to work on stock stuff and then work on the show, so I just haven't gotten to it yet. Jason, of course I did. There you go. Let's see, JDC, getting real in the D, 100% with that. See, Jason, what would your prediction be if we were playing at the Rams? I think it does make an impact, and anybody who's from the Midwest or even the East Coast probably will understand this. Life on the West Coast when it comes to sports and football is vastly different. I think the crowd alone would be a monumental factor. And this isn't true all the time, but for week one in LA, I think the crowd would be a factor. I'll say this. I think the Detroit home crowd is worth 4 points. Normally you say it's 3 points home field advantage. I'm going to say the Detroit crowd is worth 4. Maybe an argument could be made for more. I think it's going to have that kind of impact. So do I think the Lions would still win? Yes, but I think it would probably be a 1 or 2 point game and not a larger win. And that a lot of that is because playing in Detroit and in the home crowd. All right, Clark, what is going on, peeps? Exclamation point. Break Stafford and the Rams. I think that is the plan. Break them all. See, Bo told the line. Too true. See, Shake and Make. Good morning, Dan and the One Pride fam. Exclamation point. The Lions will silence the Lambs. I see what you did there. Sunday night because they're limping into Ford Field Sunday night. One Pride, go Lions. Yep, and I would say this. If I'm MCDC today and tomorrow, man, Sunday, I'm telling everybody the same thing. Do not mess around with wounded prey. Don't give them a reason to believe you come out and you make sure by halftime they're already thinking about the flight home, what they're eating on the meal, wherever they stop or on the flight or whatever. Get their minds somewhere else other than the game. And you beat them into submission by halftime. That would be what I would try to do because I get we've got some real advantages. I know they are big advantages to me, but I also know if coach speak here that nothing worries me more than a team that's got nothing to lose. All right, Robert, wow, it's a Worthy fast. Yeah, Worthy was, man. You saw him on that pull around, the end around. Yeah, he could explode. See, Shake and Bake, Dan, do you think of Jonah Jackson playing center? I do think he'll play that position. I'm surprised they're moving him there, but he must be the best option they have. So they do have, obviously, a kind of patchwork offensive line going to this game. And with it being week one, I think it's a tough spot for them, even more so with the aforementioned Ford Field crowd. All right, Big Eddie, greetings, salutations. Ravens O-line needs a lot of help. They may regret letting Zettler go to us. Hey, Coach, nice thumbnail. That looks very nice. Thanks for that, man. I got that done this morning, and I thought it looked pretty good, but thanks for that. And, yes, I agree with you on the Ravens offensive line. I'll give Spags for Kansas City a lot of credit. He's a long-time defensive coordinator. He probably wanted to test the Ravens offensive line early, saw that they were having massive communication issues, and just kept it up. If it was somebody other than Lamar Jackson back there or somebody who was incredibly mobile, man, that could have been real nasty for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, France, good evening, everyone. I am starting to lean towards the idea we could win this game by 10 or more points. I think the potential's there, especially if the Lions can get on them fairly early, like, first quarter, second quarter, build a significant lead where now you can take more, educated guesses. You limit the Rams offense and what they can and can't do as the game goes on. So as time becomes more and more a factor, you become more predictable, and that can free up the play calling from the defensive side. Aaron Glenn. All right, John, good morning. Hope all is well. Back at you, John. Always good to see you. See Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan, and the new crew. Happy Friday to everyone. Woo! And just for you, my friend, we'll give you a woo because, you know what? I don't think we've had a woo yet today, have we? So, hey, first woo of the day. All right, back at it. John King Stafford is basically the same place he was in Detroit. Weak offensive line, no run game, trying to pass his way to win. That's a pretty good point. And I get why Stafford wanted out. I got nothing but high praise to give towards the guy. He was nothing but a warrior here in Detroit. Since his departure, hey, he won a Super Bowl, and there's got to be real value on that. I'm going to guess Matt Stafford, to some degree, looks at what Detroit has become and said, man, I wish I would have stuck it out. Because, let's be fair to the guy. He did give over a decade of his life here, did a ton, him and his family, for the community. And, yes, it's kind of gone south since he's left for a multitude of reasons. I'm not going to do a recap on that. But, hey, while he's here, when he's playing for the other team, beat him down. Give him all of his praise after the game or when he retires. Hey, do a lot of stuff for him. But when he's here Sunday, he is the enemy, and put him through the floor, through the turf. Robert, hey, Hatman, are you drinking your coffee? That's a good question. Darcy, greetings and salutations. Back at you. See, Gary, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you, Gary. Just good morning, all 2 days to go. Exclamation point. Anyone know what time Coach's livecast starts Sunday? I'd have to check the thumbnail, but I want to say it's 7:45 or maybe it's 7:30. So you guys can come on over. We'll start breaking down the game, having fun with it. And hopefully everybody just get ready for that game and the kickoff. All right, Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. JDC Magic 8 Ball says 2 days, 18 hours to go. Lions, 100%. Let's get there, and we'll be there sooner than later. See, Trey, what's good, Lions Talk Live family? Has LA announced their starting offensive line? Not that I'm aware of, but I don't think anything official would be made until probably game day and just hours before the game. John, Baltimore Ravens almost pulled it off. They did, man. They're just a couple toe taps from it. Yes. Let's see, Bo, here's an idea, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. How about Danny Rogers as a guest? I'll reach out and see if I can make that happen. Papa, good morning, everyone. Same to you. Robert, that would be nice. Michael D, we need the D line to pressure Stafford and put some hits on him. If we can do that, I see Stafford hurrying his throws, which will lead to some INTs. Yeah, we all get it. And again, no disrespect for Stafford. He was a warrior when he was here. I'm guessing he's still a warrior now. But I would say when he feels like he's got to put the world on his shoulder and he gets emotionally a little rattled, that's when bad Stafford kind of comes out. He starts throwing trying to fit the ball into real tight windows, and the turnovers happen. Can we get him there? I'm hoping so come Sunday night. See, John, we just need to play our game, and we will be just fine. I'm liking the way you're thinking. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. So over the waiting for the game, it's time to get this year going for us. I'll agree with that. JDC, here's something not Chicago Bear related. Lambeau Field, home of the Lamers. So there we go. Make them lamer. See, Voltron Force, Coach Dan, I want to give you a shout out. You have the best intros in the game. Thanks for that, man. I don't know if they're the best. They're at least what I've pieced together, and hopefully everybody likes them at least. I do try to rotate them so you don't see the same one all the time. See, answer 14, always good to see you, my friend. Greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke crew, who we are counting down to Sunday night. Going to be electric for sure. Go Lions. Yeah, I can only imagine. I know just about every neighbor of ours is going to the game. The Sarge is going to the game. A lot of people are going there. I know Hutch Jr. is going to be there. There'll be a massive amount of people there. I mean, the place is going to be sold out. Standing room only sold out. So, yeah, it's going to be an electric crowd. See, John, good morning. JDC, same to you. JDC, hi, John. Dave, so how beat up is LA? Seems like they have a lot of injuries. They're very injured for just starting the season. And again, won't go through everything, but some of their offensive lines beat up. One guy's out, but not because of injury, suspension. They've lost one of their starting cornerbacks. Beyond that, I really don't know all the metrics for them. But yes, they are trying to survive some injuries for sure. Mike, good morning, Duke crew and Coach Dan. Woo, woo! The football gods have woke up from the hibernation. Let's go 100%. If football season is here, let's get after it. So small, let's go 100%. And good morning, my friend. John, Thunder and Lightning, baby. I'll go with that. JDC says right on, John. Mike, Slash and Dash. Amy, greetings and salutations. Dan and Duke crew, exclamation points. Looks like we will have our odds in our favors with the Rams having players sideline. Go Lions. Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better setup potentially leading into this one. So, hey, take it, go with it, and let's have fun with it. All right, Coach Rock, good morning. All hope the weather is good tonight. Big rival game. Hey, well, good luck at the game tonight. And yes, high school football night is here. Let's see, John, as I look at my radar, I see serious storm front coming. Yes, the thunder and lightning of the Lions offense, the ground and pound, the slash and dash. Dave, the real question for them is who are they going to double team and let the rest go one-on-one? Yeah, I got to imagine if I'm LA, everything is zone coverage. I don't see them going man-to-man at all, especially now that they've got one of their starting corners out. So the question is going to be, not, I get people still give Goff some hard times for what he did with LA. Although if you look at his LA stats, they're pretty dang good. Yes, he got to a Super Bowl. Yes, he didn't play the greatest, but that's also 24-year-old Goff or whatever he was then. It's not 29 or 30-year-old Goff. The hard part, I do agree when you hear Tom Brady or Warren Moon or whoever older quarterbacks say, the hard part for defensive coordinators, the longer quarterbacks in the league, the more information they now have, the more wisdom they have. And so if LA is really going to play all zone coverage, they're going to mix in some blitzes here and there, means Jared Goff is probably seen it all. How successful is a lot of that going to be when you're comparing that to him also having a veteran offensive line? I think it could be a real bad show for LA. They're going to need some of their gadget defenses to work. Otherwise, they're probably in a bad way. All right, answer 14, huge key for our D-line getting home. They win that battle. The Rams are in for a very long and unpleasant day indeed. I agree with that answer 14. Phil, raining and very cold here. There you go. Bo, fall is football weather, man. Yes, it is. My favorite weather of the year. John, here also Phil. Phil, Stafford still expects a tribute. There's a lot of truth to that. And, hey, I'll leave that one alone, man. Dave, it's called the offensive blitz. Woo! And yes, good blitz to you too, Dave. And see, Patrick Grease, salutations, Duke crew and coach. Two things here. One, what and where did the term dough come from? We'll have to ask our guest today about that one. And what does it mean too? I'm still sticking to my 40-3 Lions victory with Bates getting a chance to kick a 70-yarder. That would be something, man. That would be something. All right, now without further ado, let's go ahead and get our special guest of the day on. You guys all know him. You love him. He's a longtime Lions Talk Live member, a fan, or what do you want to say? Just how about a good guy who's here from time to time? So let's go and get our special guest of the day. All right, like I said, you guys know him. He's Kurt Steele. And Kurt, what up, though?
What up, dude? What's going on, my man? And to answer the question, it was shortened from though. So like, what up, though? And then of course it became dough. So it's just a shortened, and it's basically it's asked like, what's going on? So basically, in that you say that you can say that phrase many ways in the state of Michigan. You know, if you say it right, you know, it's a question of how you're doing or what's going on. If you ask wrong, it can start a fight. So, you know, definitely one of those things where, you know, it's just a term that we have, you know, in Michigan. You know, a lot of people make us synonymous with Detroit because they're not from Michigan, but what up, though, was everywhere in the state of Michigan. So,
all right, and now we know, and knowing is half the battle, says G.I. Joe. All right, so let's talk about the 8th. Obviously, the big thing in the room, Sunday's game. We got a game to talk about. Matt Stafford is expressed his feelings a little bit about the Detroit community after the playoff loss. Some of it good, some of it bad. Do you think this is starting to become old news, or do you think, man, Stafford's a little bit like the jilted ex who's, you know, fixated on their former lover?
I think it's and to borrow from my guy Joe Branham, I just think from over at Ram Showcase, he was just surprised that it was such vitriol towards him, and I think some people took a little too far as the kids are concerned. The wife, man, she's a grown up, but I agree with some people, like you shouldn't have had your kids on the field in a playoff game in a hostile environment as well. You know, you have little kids, you know, you shouldn't have them. You put them in the box, don't bring them down to the field, because you know you're opening them up to kind of, you know, a really bad hostile environment for children. Now, do I think that the hate was meant toward the kids? I don't think so at all. But I just think that some Lions fans were not happy the way he left Detroit. You know, even though it was supposed to be cordial, but the secret meeting in Cabo, you know, and then all of a sudden, I understand he didn't want to go through regime change again, going from all the coaches he went through in Detroit, starting out with, you know, Jim Schwartz, and then of course, and you go to Jim Caldwell, then, you know, I think the Matt Patricia era just broke him in Detroit.
Right. And yeah, I get it, man. He probably was looking and said, hey, you know, I've been through 3 or 4 of these things. What's the chance that they actually get it right this time? So I get it, but I'm also with you that, man, if you've been a player or a reporter, anybody on those sidelines, you know how fans get, man, especially a big playoff game. You got a chance to win one. You're hosting your first home one in a gajillion years. I think that was bad parenting 101.
Yeah. And I think that to be honest with you, I just think that, and it was the Lions fans having Jared Goff's back.
Yeah.
I think that was again one of the things that it was. And he got a bad deal out there in LA. They just gave up on him too quickly out there. He was a young guy, but he's maturing in Detroit, and he's the man for us right now. So,
all right, so let's talk about the Rams defense, because I think most people are going to say the Lions offense is pretty stacked. They've got a lot of different weapons. The Rams, as we all know, Williams, their cornerback, one of their cornerbacks is not going to play this weekend. They just traded away a week or so ago. Jones, they're probably their best overall linebacker. And yes, they're going to have to learn how to live without Aaron Donald since he's retired. How much of a change do you think there is in LA? And do you think they can keep up with the Detroit offense?
I think week 1 is going to be tough for those guys. It is. You just look at the turnover on the defense, injuries in the secondary, because the backup to the guy that went out with the hamstring injury, he's hurt. Durant, he's quite frankly their speed guy that covers their speed receivers, and he has you know a bit of a leg injury. It's just going to be hard. They have a whole new linebacking core, brand new green dot. No guys that were captains on that defense are back on the roster this year, so it's just going to be tough. The one guy I do see him making a straight impact out the gate is Jared Curse. That young fella, man, that he's got a tough test facing Taylor Decker, but Taylor Decker has a tough test facing him as well, because Taylor Decker, I love him, but he does struggle at times with long or leaner guys with good bend. You know, the guys that come kind of straight up, you know, I don't think he's going to bull rush Decker, because you're not going to do that with Taylor Decker, but you know, good spin move or good bend is his kryptonite.
Okay. Now, another factor for the LA defense is they're bringing in a new defensive coordinator this year. So I'm going to guess a lot of those defenders are going to have to make adjustments to the calls, make adjustments to the green dot. So a lot of things going on with that loud Ford Field fan base who's, you know, they're not going to be yelling and screaming while the Lions have the ball, but I think there could be a challenge there. So let's go ahead and talk about the Rams offense, because let's be honest, we've already talked about Stafford, don't need to talk about it again. But it does sound like the offensive line could maybe not be 100% for LA. If you're Aaron Glenn, how much are you just blitzing the heck out of him, testing him early?
You are out the gate going at Stafford. Because you look at the guy that's playing left tackle before the guy that's out for suspension has played tackle for the Rams before. However, it must not have been great, because he would end up being a second stringer. Somebody came in and took his job. Right. So, and you look at the possibility of their right tackle being out. I think Haverstein. I'm going to talk about it on my show later on. But you look at this offensive line. You got Jonah Jackson playing center. I mean, I won't say it's a patchwork, but it's a hobbled offensive line for the Rams. And they the last couple of years, the offensive line for the Rams hasn't started off well at the front part of the season. So I just think that trend can continue to Detroit. I think Aaron Glenn's going to have those guys pinning their ears back and getting after it come Sunday night.
Okay, so let's Scooby-Doo this real quick. If you're Ben Johnson, how are you attacking this new defensive coordinator and adjusting defense in LA?
I don't want to give away too much from what I'm talking, because we're talking keys to the game on my show as well. Speed on the outside, speed on the inside, speed in the middle. Got Gibbs, got Jameson Williams, and then the deceptive shiftiness. Now, people will say, "Oh, St. Brown isn't fast, but he's quick," because there's a difference between being quick and fast, and he can get open and exploit matchups versus their DBs. You see what he did last year, had 110 yards in the playoff game against those guys. No touchdowns, but he wreaked havoc in that Rams secondary last year. And I just think that he can continue that trend. And I just see what Ben Johnson is going to do. He's going to have some of the same plays, but it's going to be out of a different formation or different set. It's going to look different, but it's going to be the same play. And it's going to confuse those guys. And with a lot of those guys not being back from last year is going to be a confusion as well for that Rams defense.
So, we've all been talking about, hey, the Lions offense, all the different weapons they have. Jameson Williams seems a lot more mature than what he was when we first drafted him. And not just mature from a football standpoint, but from a person, a personality standpoint. He's grown up quite a bit. We all have expectations for him to have a pretty good year. Going into this game, how big of an impact do you feel he makes week one?
To be honest with you, I think he makes a huge impact just because of the fact of the young. We have some of the similar problems with our secondary as far as the Rams and the Lions. They're new, kind of like a brand new set of defensive backs in their secondary, but they haven't played together a lot, especially in the preseason, because like the Lions, the Rams don't play their starters in the preseason. So to be able to communicate on that back end for them is going to be key, just like it is for us. However, I think the advantage goes to the Lions because of the Lions pass rush. So they're going to be able to get after Stafford. Our offensive line is stout. So if they can keep Jared Goff clean, he's going to pick those guys apart.
Yeah, I agree. He's given time. It's going to be tough to find a quarterback who can pick apart defenses as well as Jared Goff. Because again, he's at that point in his career. He's seen just about everything you're going to throw at him. He's a veteran. He's grown. He's matured. I mean, we talked about him in L.A. People forget he was 23, 24 when he played in that Super Bowl. He's not 23 or 24 anymore. The world has changed for him. So, all right, what would you say? Who's the defensive player that you're expecting to really, after the game Sunday, people are go, "Wow, Detroit's got that guy. I didn't realize he would be that good."
Brian Branch. That's going to be the guy. Because they know about Hutch, and they got a taste of Branch on and off last year because missed some time due to injury, with the ankle and things of that nature. But Brian Branch is going to be that dude this year. AG is putting him in a position where he's going to play all over the field, and he's going to be able to make plays on each level of the defense, playing safety down in the box, and then getting after the quarterback in run support or just blitzing off the edge. Brian Branch is going to be that dude for the Detroit Lions defense this year.
I agree with you. I think especially because when he played in the playoffs last year, he wasn't 100%. He was dealing with the ankle and I want to say a hip or whatever, but maybe I'm not right there. All right, so the Detroit Lions secondary. A lot of these guys don't even know each other's names probably quite yet. They're still trying to figure each other out. They're still trying to get some timing down, things like that. Do you think the no-fly zone picks apart Matt Stafford and this offense of the Rams? Do you think they get a couple interceptions and make people go, "Yeah, Detroit's secondary is no longer what it used to be"?
I think they can get one. I won't say multiple interceptions, but I think they can get one. I think the big thing about the Lions secondary is the difference between this year and last year. They're sticky. They get to get on those wide receivers, and they can kind of look and hold those guys accountable. They know how to pass off receivers when it's time they're playing zone, but they're going to be a man coverage team, and you're going to have those guys on the back end. You got a guy like Kirby Joseph that plays a great single high safety. And then you have the guys that are just good in man coverage. And of course, you're not going to win every battle because Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp is a tough matchup. But I go back to the pass rush. He's going to have time to get the ball out. And if he doesn't have the time, because you're going to look at Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, and then you guys coming in, Josh Pascal and James Houston. The pass rush isn't going to stop. It's just going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming.
No, I agree with you because I think this is probably one of our better rotations at the defensive end rush, whatever you want to call it, that we've had in a while. It sounds like they're planning on using, drawing a blank now, his name, linebacker picked off Mayfield in the playoffs, Derek Barnes. Thank you. But they're going to use him in that role from time to time as well. So
yeah.
All right, got one last question for you. Both sides of the ball apply. Who's going to be the biggest riser when these years all said and done on offense and defense?
Got to be J-Mo, man, on offense, man. That's the guy, man. We just keep hearing it, and you see it. I mean, you see the route running. You see the explosiveness. Explosive plays is just going, and the improved route running, the catching. I forget who that was in the end zone when he just in practice the other day where he just kind of the guy was just standing there. I mean, he didn't even know what he was doing. So it's definitely one of those guys where he got to watch out for him, man. He was coming on at the end of last year, and he's going to get his chance to rise up and be a big player in the offense this year. And then on defense, who is it going to be that gonna have a big season for the Detroit Lions? I think Aiden Hutchinson evolves his game. I think that it's just not going to be the spin move. I think he gets into the teens for sacks this year. It's not going to be. We're talking mid to high teens.
Okay.
In sacks. So that's my guy. I'm
down with it. So. All right, why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out, tell everybody where to find you and where to find you in about 15 minutes.
All right, man. They can check me out on the Boss Up All Out podcast, man. The Do Crew, they hang out with us. We do live on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we're going to do another show tomorrow. We're going to do our game prediction show. We added another show on Saturday mornings. It's going to be quick. We're just going to go over the final injury reports and give our predictions for the game.
I'm down with it. So, all right, he is the living legend, Kurt Steele. He is the host of the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. You can find him, like he said, in just about 15 minutes. So head on over there.
And about a half an hour, you're gonna see another guy on this screen again as well. So come on over and join the discussion, man. Join the conversation about the Lions and Rams matchup.
Will do. Thanks, Kurt, for coming on today.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, we'll get back over to the comment section. Let's see, John, Dan Miller. Hey, yeah, great voice. Replaced, replaced, boy, what is his name? Chris, whatever it was. I can't remember his name offhand, but the prior voice of the Lions. But Dan Miller does a great job. Great job. I'd see, Broski Bear, how much can Stafford have left in the tank? Question mark. I don't think much, but we'll see. Hey, he's a warrior. He's a gunner. He wants this win. I have no doubt about it. He wants, after last year's playoff loss to the Lions, he wants to come in here and get a little bit of revenge. See, but what competitive athlete wouldn't it, right? I'd see John tiptoe through the tulips. There you go, Johnny. I'd see Patrick, thanks all, and Kurt for letting this old jarhead know what it means. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. See, Miles Margaret, good morning, all. Hope our new secondary paid attention to last night's secondaries. There you go. I'm guessing there'll be some learning going on. My guess is it'll take a few games for the Lions defense, offense to really get full steam ahead. Offense might be a little bit faster just because you have so many returning guys, plus, returning coordinator. The Lions defense does have a returning coordinator as well in Aaron Glenn, but they do have a lot of new pieces as well. See, Miles, from excellent to blown coverages, there were lessons to be had, 100%. Hookadoo, good morning, sir. Hookadoo, top of the morning, mile marker. Let's see, John. Yeah, Jarhead, this Spud didn't know either. It happens, man. Bus driver Brent, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, my friend. See, John, my guts are killing me. Let's get this thing started. All right, yeah, I think we're all ready for the season to get going. Miles Marker, Thunder and Lightning Twisters. I like that, 100%. JDC, Miles Marker, go Lions. Back at you. See, Brent, good morning, Duke Crew. DL will be rotating all the way to Stafford. 4+ sacks incoming. Oh, yeah. You know what? That would be an outstanding start to the season. And now here's my question to you guys. At the end of the season, who leads us in sacks? That's my big question. I think there's a real case that, yes, Aiden Hutchinson's going to get his. There's a real strong chance he gets between 13 and 17 or more sacks. My guess is you're going to have him up there. You're also going to have, I guess I can go ahead and just say it. James Houston will have his fair share. But could it be that Marcus Davenport reemerges, kind of gets back to who he was a couple years ago before the injuries when he was with the Saints? And I want to say he had like 8 or 9 sacks, something like that. But I do believe the Lions have a multitude of guys who can get to the quarterback and get some pressures, i.e. sacks. See, Miles Margaret, teams come against us and they're going to get tilt. There you go. JDC. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to put a beating on quite a few teams. Now, if you guys remember my power rankings yesterday, yes, the Lions have a ton of games against teams that are, at least currently, before the season started, I had ranked in the top 15. But also, we've got some games against some teams that aren't in the top 15, that are in the bottom 10 of the league. So there could be some games where the Lions really feast on some lesser foes, I guess I could say. JDC, smile and thumbs up back at you. Patrick, the biggest improvement from the year, from this year, from game 1 to game 2, yeah, probably a real big jump from game 1 to game 2. I really think if you get through this game, the Rams game, assuming no injuries, you go after the Rams, you get a big win, I think Tampa Bay's in real trouble. And it's nothing against Tampa Bay. I just think the matchups the Tampa Bay offers are not as favorable for them as the Rams matchups are against some of our weaknesses, or at least perceived weaknesses. I also think you get the first week out of the way, you're at home again. Yeah, Tampa Bay is probably in for a tough one, in my opinion, at least. All right, let's see. Patrick, for both O and D, I'll go with that. Courtney, keep Stafford in the game. Stenson Bennett won 2 college championships at Georgia. Maybe you don't want him coming in trying to replace Stafford just yet. See, Bo Booth, Hutch, 15+ sacks. I'll go with that. Patrick, sack leaders, Hutch 1, Houston 2. Hey, I think I like the way you're going with that. See, Bo, 10 from Davenport and Houston. Now, that would be something. That would mean we've got a real good rotation up there. Sam, L.A., and St. Brown. Okay, shake my head. Well, shake your head, man. And it's okay. Well, I'm not sure what you're shaking your head at, though. That's the problem. See, JDC, Dan Campbell might even have 1 or 2 sacks. You know what? He could get in there and be a player coach. I'm down with that. See, Miles Marker, what do you got? Laughing out loud, Jay. There you go. Dimitri, bossing up. Strength is an exclamation points. Dimitri, go blue. Yeah, the big game for them tomorrow night, isn't there? I know, tomorrow at noon. A lot of people are going to be showing up to watch that one for sure. Bo, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play center field. There you go. Stay away from it. I like the way you're thinking. So here's my big question for everybody in the comment section. We've talked about the 8 keys for the game. What is your score prediction? Do you think the Lions win? If so, what is the final score? Go ahead and throw that in the comment section there. Let's see. Jason says JDC soon for the Tree of Destiny. Yeah, we're going to have to get a feed over to you and have the unveiling live on Lions Talk Live of the Tree of Destiny. JDC, smile, thumbs up. Yeah, Tree of Destiny. See, Lions Super Bowl 2024, Hutch 20 sacks, Davenport 13. Man, you guys, I like the way you're thinking. But go ahead, throw your comments in the section. Let me know your score predictions for this upcoming Week 1 game against Sunday night in the Rams. Bo says 35-17. I'll take that. Lions Kool-Aid Stafford going to be running for his life. I think there's a lot of truth to that. And again, you got to beat up or discombobulated Rams offensive line. You've got a lot of guys trying to figure things out. You've got so many nuances that just only time can teach. I really think you look at last night's game. Spags, for the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, did the right thing by dialing up blitz after blitz after blitz, and not all of them looked alike. They kept altering them, so the Ravens offensive line would be a little confused. I think you do the same thing to Stafford and the offensive line there. Stafford's probably not going to be confused by it, but his offensive line might, and that's really what you're trying to get. And Dimitri, all haters get out of the chat. Yeah, if there's no haters here, make it hater free. See, Miles Marker 31-24. I'll go with that, and hopefully we get just that. See, Phil 32-10. I'll take that. Broski, Lions 34, Rams 17. I like the way you're thinking there, Broski. See, Patrick, like I said earlier, 40-3 Lions win, and Jake Bates with a 70-yard field goal. Hey, I hope we get to see him have the chance either right before half or at the end of a game, go ahead and boot one from real range. See, Lions Super Bowl 49-17, Lions win. Okay. Broski, oh wow, Bo Booth, similar prediction. Hey, it happens, man, it happens. Paperbag fan, Lions 38, Rams 10. JDC Magic 8 Ball says, survey says, Lions 31, Rams 20. Bo, great minds, Broski. There you go. Dimitri, 21-7. The final countdown, Lions 28, Rams 17. We'll go with that. Brent, 38-20. Lions win. Lions Super Bowl, Lions 49, Rams 17. I like that. Put up 49 on the 49ers. On the Rams. I'm down with that. I'm down with that big time. See, Lions Kool-Aid, Lions 41-13. Man, some of you guys, we're going for some blowouts. Dan O'Damas might have known something. See, Jess, Lions 35-34. Man, a shootout, but we win. That's all that matters. Courtney, 44-28. Lions win. Broski, Bo Booth, pound and the explosion. There you go. Joseph, well, I'm going to have to rewind the show, but good morning to you, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Have a great day. My prediction of the score is going to be Lions 32-17. I'll take that prediction big time, big time. See, Robert, 31-17. And then Patrick, survey says, I love the throwback. Yeah, man, that was back in the day, man. I used to love that game show. All right, guys, I'm going to go out and get out of here just a couple minutes early. There could be a surprise on the Boss Up, Bottle Up podcast, so try to get ready for that. If there is some sort of breaking news today, of course, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, before you check out, if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. As you guys know, that helps the channel out a ton. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your days. Hope see you all come over. We will have the morning show tomorrow. We'll also have the morning show Sunday before the live cast Sunday night. But hopefully I've got a few things planned for everybody. Have it enjoyable. All enjoy the game together. But yeah, have a great day. We'll see you. Oh, hold on, a couple more here. Brent, by 1 or 51, just win, baby. I like the way you're thinking. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions victory. Miles Parker, Lions. Bo, happy trails to you. All done and dusted. See y'all tomorrow. Joseph, thanks for all you do, Coach Dan. Anytime, my friend, anytime. Jason, 36-17. That would be a good one. Let's see, Brent, happy trails, one pride. Jason, Superdome or bust. All right, all caught up now. So we'll catch you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until